council told them, with what the planning commission explained, and more importantly, what the residents of the neighborhood wanted. Now, we have to keep in mind, all right, I shouldn't say we don't have to keep in mind, I ask that you keep in mind that when this area was developed, when Rossmoor was developed and the high school was built many, many years ago, the infrastructure for this area was based on a Rossmoor that was much larger, almost twice the size as the build-out. The infrastructure can handle 80 homes, and I believe that is the current plan, plus or minus 80 homes. Folks, we need housing in not just Walnut Creek, in the entire Bear Area. These type of condominiums are targeted for folks just like yourself, empty nesters that want to enjoy, and I'm going to keep beating the drum, of one of the top 10 places to retire in the country.
Thank you, Gary. Okay, Bob.
I sort of wish that in one respect, that the U.S. News and World Report hadn't issued its report, because I kind of liked it when it was our little secret, and it wasn't the whole world coming to Walnut Creek. They want to come and shop at Neiman Marcus, that's fine. But with regard to the proposal by the Jewish Community Center, I like to start with the recognition that the Jewish Community Center is an important and a valuable member of our community, providing many services that benefit a lot of people, and particularly providing some services that are of critical need for seniors. And one I would like to focus on is their respite care. And I think that is just so essential to keep in mind. You know, if you've had a family member, and I've had, who has suffered through having a spouse with Alzheimer's and having to deal with that, you know how important it is to have the opportunity for respite care. Putting that in context, as a city council, well, first of all, I think Gary outlined what the proposal is. It's an interesting proposal. As a city council member, I would want to look at several things as I was evaluating how to vote on that proposal. Its size, its density, how it fit on the land. I would like to know how the developer was going to make it part of Walnut Creek, just like we make other developments part of Walnut Creek and make it be a part of our community. How the developer is going to provide for parking, and and what are the traffic impacts, and so those are all things that, as a city council, I would want to look at to make sure that whatever decision we make is one that is really in the best interest of all of the people of Walnut Creek.
Thank you, Bob. Saul?
Regarding the JCC proposal, I remember this came up a couple of years ago, and one of the things I had a gripe with also was the density of it. I'm going to be meeting next week with the people that are proposing the JCC proposal next week to learn a little bit more about it. I have an appointment for next week. Now, I also want to echo just how valuable the JCC is. I use it twice a week. I play a lot of basketball there. If anyone's interested, you could see me on Sunday nights. I have a lot of friends who use their religious services. I do as well. And I think the proposal, I think it's great that we definitely need housing. And I think it's something we need to look at, study the traffic impacts, and then move on from there. I know there's a lot of community input. We are all open to listening and hearing input from all the residents. We want to make sure that it fits in the neighborhood. And like I said, I'll be learning a lot more next week. And when this comes to the table as your city council member, I'll be fully prepared to give a good opinion. Thank you.
Thanks, Saul. Kish?
Thanks. Well, I recently met with the folks at the JCC and got a detailed briefing on the plans that they have, and am aware that there's a few iterations of the proposal that they brought forward. And I was impressed by their proposal in that they have made what appears to be a very sincere effort with regard to the development program to reduce the number of units, to reduce the density, to use high quality materials, and to structure those buildings in a way that they fit into the landscape in a way that I think is in keeping with our goals for all of our development projects, which is to make them fit within the character and of a quality that we expect and have come to appreciate here in Walnut Creek. I think they've made a very sincere effort in that regard, and so I appreciate that they did that. I will say that I will have another meeting, however, with the concerned citizens of Tice Valley, people who have expressed concerns about this project for some time. You'll find that I'm the kind of person that really wants to do my homework on all issues before jumping to conclusions or going in with opinions until I'm fully informed. So I really want to have that meeting and perhaps other meetings in order to make sure I'm fully versed from the perspective of folks on all sides of the issue. Certainly, if the project were to go forward, as Bob has suggested, there would be the process, and the process would be an environmental impact report that would look at traffic impacts and other potential impacts as a result of the development. Of course, those are additional facts that I will certainly take into account if I have to make a judgment on this particular project. Lastly, I would say that I also recognize the value that the JCC puts into our community. The gym that saw, I feel like I'm a little too old to play basketball anymore. I try to play golf, but in any event, the gym that we built, that the city built in partnership with the JCC, is one of the best one of the best gyms in all of the East Bay. It's a wonderful example of a public-private partnership that has added tremendous value to the community. The plans for the JCC, I think, can add all kinds of wonderful additional services that could be of value, and I want to take that into account as I look at the project as a whole.
Kish, thank you very much. Bob, we're going
Back to me.
back to you again.
right.
And this is a very short question, but long and concerned. Is crime a problem in Walnut Creek?
Well, I think we are all interested in public safety and in our own personal safety, whether in our homes, driving to the city, or going to the theater, or going to dinner. It is something that we are always interested in, and we're concerned about it. But having said that, Walnut Creek is one of the safest communities, certainly in the East Bay, and I think it is one of the reasons, and maybe one of the principal reasons why the U.S. News and World Report recognize that this is one of the best places to retire to, because the crime rate is that low. Having said that, there are many reasons why the crime rate is low, and there are some things that as city council member I would want to do to make sure that we do everything we can to keep the crime rate low. We need to continue to support our police and to fund them as we have in the past. We need to be willing to make the types of community maintenance and community improvements that give us a better quality environment so that there's less incentive for crime. If you drive into Oakland and you look at the parks, they are not maintained. If you drive into Richmond and you drive on the streets, it is difficult to drive on the streets for all the potholes. So by the city showing the community, and by the community showing that it cares how it looks and how it appears, and it wants to continue to make sound and strategic investments in the long-term future quality of Walnut Creek, we can do the things that are needed to do to keep the crime rate as low as it is right now.
Thank you, Bob. Saul?
I had the opportunity to meet with Chief Bryden, our new police chief. Has everyone met him before? Okay, he's a great gentleman. He's from San Diego. He actually is from my alma mater, San Diego State. He's already made immediate impacts on our community. He's already built great relationships with our downtown business community. Now, I'm not sure how many in here peruse the downtown on a Thursday night around midnight, and if you do, don't show your hand. I've gone on a couple police ride-alongs in the past couple years, so I've experienced the downtown at its peak times, at its most, if you will, dangerous times. Now, we don't have a crime problem because we have a great police unit. We have great leadership as far as the police chief goes. Our police has great communication and relationships with our downtown and with our residents. I see them come up my street, they say hi, they want to know what's going on, and as a leadership in Walnut Creek, we do a great job with providing the police with what they need. Now, however, with my conversation with Chief Bryden, he has a wish list, and one of his wish lists is he would like to add 5 to 10 more police officers within the next few years. And we hope